Hello everyone, Julia Lefebvre here, founder of the Stronger Community, the Fueled for Life program, and the Love Your Body Strong Challenge. Okay, so just a quick introduction of who I am. If this is your first introduction to me, if you're watching this, I am a certified nutritionist and I help women ditch the deprivation and restriction and really learn how to fuel their body properly, build a strong body while still enjoying the foods that they love. So we're gonna get right to it. I'm gonna talk about, on today's workshop, I'm gonna talk about how to eat to beat stress and anxiety. So that's the topic for today. So put your hand up in the comments if you feel stressed right now. If you're constantly feeling stressed and overwhelmed, or you have anxiety, put your hand up in the comments. Now, before we move on, make sure that if you're watching this as a replay, just post the word replay in the comments so I know that you've come back and watched this. And if you're watching this live with me, just say hey and tell me where you're watching from. Okay, so let's move forward. So you're experiencing stress and anxiety. Now, how do we move on from that? Because there's a lot of stuff that is going on in the world or going on in your life that might be out of your control that is causing this stress and anxiety, right? But I'm going to talk about some of the foods that we can eat to help reduce our stress. I'm going to talk about some tips on how to reduce stress, but I also want to talk about the science or behind stress and why sometimes, why we're feeling stressed or why we tend to struggle with fat loss when we're very stressed. And so what's going on there and in our body. So I really want to educate and empower you around nutrition and your body so that you have a full understanding, because sometimes, I've talked to women who are like, I'm really struggling to lose weight. I'm doing all the right things. And they are, or, they're under eating or they're overeating. And that's, why the scale's not moving the direction they want it to go in. But a lot of times, we kind of hit these crossroads because our stress levels are really high. And so stress can be a reason why we're struggling with fat loss. Now, that's not going to be all of what I'm going to talk about today, because I really want to make sure that we talk about the foods that we can eat that can help with our stress and anxiety. But okay, so stress raises our cortisol levels in our body. So cortisol is the primary stress hormone in your body. And so normal levels of cortisol are released when we wake up in the morning, when we exercise, and these levels can regulate our blood sugar and our blood pressure levels, okay? And even strengthen your heart muscles, increase your memory, boost your immune system, and lower your sensitivity to pain. So, when we're less stressed and we have a level balance of cortisol, that's great for our immune system. It's great for our overall health, right? It regulates our blood sugar and blood pressure. But if that hormone is elevated, right, that's where our blood sugar levels are going to be elevated, blood pressure. It's going to affect our immune system, right? And especially right now, we want to make sure that we're doing the things we need to do, that is in our control to help boost our immune system. We want a strong immune system so that we can fight any infection or fight any virus, or be strong enough to prevent it, right? So we want a nice, strong immune system. So many of us right now, we are living through a stressful time, but we're living in a fast-paced, high-stress mode constantly, okay? So I hear this from women all the time, oh, I'm stressed right now. We've got a lot going on right now. I can't focus on my nutrition right now. But that means that this is the best time to focus on your nutrition because you are so stressed and have so much going on, right? You need that nutritional support to help you through that, right? Your cortisol levels are likely through the roof, and we want to work on bringing that stress hormone down, right? Because it's going to affect our body in more ways than just fat loss and, holding on to fat. It is going to affect, like I said earlier, our immune system. It's going to affect our blood pressure, our blood sugar levels, our heart muscles. So it's really important that we take control of what we can now when you're in that high stress mode. And a lot of women are running it at that high, fast paced, high stress mode all of the time. And you need to rest. So a lot of chronic stress can lead to the following, okay? So I have my notes here just so you know where I'm looking. I want to make sure that I cover everything for you guys today. But chronic stress can lead to fatigue, irritability, headache, stress, anxiety, depression, weight gain, increased blood pressure, low libido, difficulty recovering from exercise, sleep problems. So I'm going to repeat these, and I want you to type in the comments below which of these you are experiencing. Fatigue, irritability, headaches, anxiety or depression, weight gain, blood pressure, increased blood pressure, low libido, difficulty recovering from exercise, and sleep problems, right? Chronic stress can be the reason why we have any of these symptoms, okay? So if you're stuck in high stress mode, your body is constantly pumping out cortisol, right? It's a normal hormone that can be beneficial to us, but we want a balanced level of cortisol. When we're in high stress mode, it's high, right? And that's what we don't want. So think about, if you're driving and, you have to swerve out of the way of something and you kind of feel your heart rate go up and almost like your blood pressure go up, but it naturally goes back down. So your cortisol level will rise, but it'll naturally go back down. But if we're constantly in that fight or flight state, right, our cortisol levels are constantly high and going up and rising. We don't want to stay in that state, right? We need to get our body out of that state and back into sort of a normal level of cortisol. So this is where weight gain happens, right? Your cells are crying for energy because our cells are taking up any of that energy or glucose and using it for energy. So we're starving for energy. So your body will send you signals to your brain that you're hungry and need to eat, even if you don't need to. So it throws off your hunger cues. These false hunger signals lead to you craving high calorie foods. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's your body doing its job. It's just that your cortisol levels are really high. Your stress hormones are very high. And this is the result of it. Okay? So unused glucose, therefore, in our blood turns to, or is stored as fat, doesn't turn to fat, is stored as fat. So this is often why we gain weight when we're really stressed out, right? Those cortisol levels go up. We get this false hunger cues. We end up eating higher calorie foods, and then the extra glucose is stored as fat, okay? So what's the solution? How do we fix this, right? There's certain things in our life right now that might be going on that is causing a lot of stress, but you can't change it. So what are you going to do about it? So here are things that you can do that are in your control, okay? So you need to reduce those stress levels so that you can get out of that fight or flight mode if you're constantly in chronic stress, and drop those cortisol levels down to a normal. Okay, so recognize the signs and triggers is the first one. You need to know what is causing that stress and anxiety. Take a break, journal, meditate, get outside, move your body. Now, if you are moving your body in a way that is, again, creating even more stress on your body, you want to do light movement. things that are going to honor your body and it being in that fight or flight, right? So if we're putting so much more stress on our body with high intensity, stressful workouts, then it's going to keep those cortisol levels down, or up, sorry. So we want to bring them down. And that's not to say don't move, right? Some people have talked about, oh, I'm super stressed, I'm not going to move at all. Move your body more. You need to be more respectful and honoring of your body in those moments of, it needs to be things that are not going to put your body under stress. Yoga, walking, light movement that isn't going to put your body under stress. Okay? Learn to say no. We have, as women, it seems we have a hard time saying no to things. If you cannot add something else onto your plate, you need to learn to say no to it. Learn to delegate things. You cannot do everything. So delegate certain things that need to get done, whether it's in the house or at work. Delegate. Eat nourishing foods. So this is where it's going to lead into our talk about, how do we eat to beat the stress and anxiety? So I'm going to share with you, we want to make sure that we're eating whole foods, less processed foods, less sugary foods. We want to keep those glucose levels down. And we want to make and there are hidden sugars and things. And you know me, I'm all about making sure we include all foods, right? All foods fit. But I also know about nourishing our bodies. We can make all foods fit, but we want to make sure that we're leading with the nourishing foods. And sure, you can have a bit of sugar. Sure, you can have a treat here and there. But if we are falling into, all foods fit, and we're only eating processed foods and high sugary foods and high caloric foods, then, that's going to affect our body in a negative way as well. Hi. So we want to make sure we're eating the most nourishing foods. Okay, and limiting our processed foods and sugary foods, okay? So here's a few foods that I'm going to share with you that you can add to your fuel plan, right? It's not about eliminating things, right? But it's about what can we add to our fuel plan that can help us eliminate or reduce those stress levels so that we can eat to beat the stress and anxiety. So I'm going to share 8 with you that are really great foods and why they're great foods to help reduce stress. So 1, asparagus. It's a mood enhancing nutrient, so it'll help you beat that anxiety and depression. 2, avocados. So avocados have vitamin B in them. They're healthy for nerve and brain cells. You've heard me talk about healthy fats and how healthy fats are good for our brain health. So we want to make sure that avocado, just a minute.
Can I have one of these?
Sure. Avocado is a great way to get in those healthy fats. And so because it has vitamin B, anxiety has been linked to low levels of vitamin B. So it's a great way to get that vitamin B in. Number 3, blueberries. Blueberries have a powerful punch of antioxidants and vitamin C in them. So when you're stressed and your body needs vitamin C, we talked about the immune system, and vitamin C helps to repair and protect our cells. So that's really important. Number 4, almonds. Almonds have vitamin B2 and vitamin E, so this helps boost your immune system in times of stress. So that's a great one. Orange. So it's packed with vitamin C. We've talked about this already. It'll help lower your blood pressure and your cortisol levels. That's the stress hormone. We want to bring that one down. Number 6, fish. So fish have omega-3 fatty acids. And it helps keep cortisol and adrenals from spiking. So including fish in your weekly fuel plan is really important to get that in as well. Number 7, spinach. So it's packed with magnesium to help regulate those cortisol levels. So again, that's another great one. And number 8, oatmeal. It helps calm, inducing the hormone serotonin from flowing. So those are all really great foods that you can add to your fuel plan. Remember, it's not about what you need to eliminate, right? I'm not telling you to completely eliminate processed foods or sugar or any of that stuff, but we definitely want to limit those. But what can we add to our fuel plan to help us with our stress hormones, right? And so our cortisol level is spiked. These foods will definitely help you lower it, boost that immune system so that you are stronger. And, when our immune system drops, we're more susceptible to getting infections or catching colds or viruses or any of that stuff. And so we want to make sure, even if we do catch those things, our immune system is strong to be able to fight it, right? So there's a lot of foods that you can eat to help with that, but also these foods are really going to help and be beneficial because you're going to get the vitamins and nutrients, those micronutrients, right? I teach you about macronutrients and micronutrients because that's really important. Sure, we can eat the less nourishing foods and stay within our macros, but we also want to make sure that we're eating the highly nutritious foods so that we're getting in those micronutrients. Our body needs those vitamins and minerals in order to function at its most optimal. So when our bodies are sitting in that high stress mode, we're in that fight or flight constantly, right? Our body is going to end up storing that extra glucose as fat. You get frustrated. What do? You put more stress on your body by working out harder. You put more stress on your body by limiting your calories. That's very stressful on your body. And so it's just going to be a vicious cycle of then you're going to be stuck gaining weight, right? We need to reduce that hormone level. We need to reduce the cortisol. So we need to get out of that fight or flight mode and put us in a balanced level. And some of these foods are really going to help. Like I said, asparagus, avocado, blueberries, almonds, orange. So if it's orange juice or oranges, fish, spinach, oatmeal, there's a whole list, but these ones are really great ones that have the vitamins and minerals in them that are going to help with your immune system, help with your brain health. They're going to help with drop those cortisol levels or stop them from spiking. So there's some foods that you can try out, add to your fuel plan this week to help reduce those stress hormones so that you can eat to beat your stress and anxiety. So I hope you really enjoyed today's workshop. If you did, give me a thumbs up in the comments or a hell yeah. And if you have any questions, just post them in the comments below. I will come back and answer those as well for you. And I hope you enjoyed the workshop and have a great rest of your day.